Greetings, people of the internet. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome back to the underground laboratory where we create robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. We also create comic books. We are in the middle. We're not in the middle anymore, actually. We're pretty close to we're getting close to the end of 100 Days of Making Comics, the 100 Days of Making Comics Challenge, where you spend 30 minutes or more every day working on your own personal comic book project, and you do that for 100 days straight. You vlog about it, you let people know, you knock on doors, you get the word out. And so what is my personal comic book project, you ask? You didn't ask. If you've been watching, you didn't ask because you already know, because I pitch this every single time. But this is my book. This is the first issue. There are 2 other issues available at my website at serkworks.com. It's a kids versus zombie story. It's like Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead. If you think that might be something you're into, well, it's up at the website. So anyway, like I said, the 100 Days of Making Comics Challenge. So where are we in this challenge? If you read the little title card, you already know. But this is for my own benefit, just so I don't lose track of where I am. But I got this big fat pad of paper. I also have the big fat Sharpie. So I'm going to use that. We're going to write this down. There we go. We are at day 88. Yes, day 88. That's the number. That's the day we're on. And like I said, we're getting closer. We're getting closer to that finish line. So what I want to talk about today, I wanted to talk a little bit about diversity in comics. Just so you know, I don't follow mainstream comics that much anymore. There are a few titles I'll buy here and there. But one of the higher ups at Marvel had said something about that they were, after kind of making this effort to be a little more diverse, I think he alluded to the fact that he said it wasn't working, that people that they were going to scale back on that and everything. And then I think they after saying that, after that getting out, they kind of went back and kind of rephrased it a little bit. So I don't know all the details, but it sounded to me like some people that had some problems with the fact that they were diversifying some of their kind of core characters. Now there's a lot of new characters that popped up, a lot of new female characters which are awesome, like there's Spider-Gwen and Captain Marvel and a lot of those characters, and they brought back, well, I didn't want to say they brought back Moon Girl because that's a new character, but they kind of did some gender swapping and things like that, and they brought in some characters from different ethnic backgrounds and different religions and things like that. And I don't think a lot of people had a problem with some of the newer characters that they were introducing, especially since, like, Devil Dinosaur and making Moon Girl. I mean, that was something a lot of people weren't didn't really care too much about, because that character had been out of favor for a while. And so I thought that was kind of cool, and a lot of those books appeal to me a lot. I like more of those kind of fun adventure things, like Squirrel Girl and stuff like that. That stuff, those are the kind of books that I like, and that's not to everyone's taste. But anyway, I think most people kind of had an issue with kind of toying with those core characters, whether it's Iron Man or Captain America and stuff like that, and diversifying those. And anytime things like this come up, it's just like, it kind of baffles me, because these are usually hardcore comic book readers that are so concerned, and to me, in my head, I'm just thinking, okay, you realize everything is going to go back to the way it was. That's always the way it is. Anytime you do a reboot or everything, they want to bring it. They're eventually going to bring it back. Anytime they kill a character off, they're eventually going to bring them back. But I think it's fun. I think it's cool that they're doing this, and I think some of the characters are going to stick around, like a Miles Morales or something like that. That character, is super popular, and I think it can exist in the same, not in the same universe, I guess, but in the same, under the same Marvel banner as Peter Parker Spider-Man. I don't think you're never gonna get rid of the original Thor or the original Bruce Banner. I mean, those characters are so ingrained in pop culture, and people want to see those again. But I don't see any problem with diversifying some of these characters, because in my mind, what would eventually happen is they they basically put some of these characters in the suits, and this has been going on for a while. I mean, when Rhodey became Iron Man for a while, or different things like that, and then what happens? They spin him off into like a war machine, which to me that's where I figured this would go, because I think what you can, if you introduce a new character, you throw them into a popular, and it's not just Marvel, the same thing happened with John Stewart as Green Lantern and stuff like that. But then you can kind of spin these characters off after you kind of bring them to the forefront and put them in this major role. Then you can I guess generate more of, people know more about these characters now. Even characters that were, even in the case of the Falcon becoming Captain America, eventually it's going to go back to the Falcon, but now there's people that are a little more invested because he already has that history of Captain America. And again, I'm not following a lot of these books, but I don't know. I just never really saw it as an issue, and I guess there was the talk was that people aren't into these diverse characters, and I don't think that's the case at all. I think then they kind of attributed this to like the sales, the decline in sales, but I think those sales were declining before that, and I think just in comics in general and everything. But yeah, so I think diversity is a good thing. I try to do that somewhat in my own book. I don't pay too close attention. It's not like I set out and I say, oh, I need to have an Asian character, I need to have a black character, I need to have, a character from this or that religion or whatever. So for instance, in Young and the Dead, there's Hispanic characters, there is a character of Russian descent, there's no African American characters in this particular book, but in my previous book there was. So I don't know. I don't think the idea of just diversifying for diversity's sake is the thing. But if it works with your story, I think that's a good thing. You want different people to be able to relate to your story, and whether that's on, this character kind of is into the same things I am, or this character is this, of the same religious background that I am, or whatever it is. I think that's good, and I think I just remember back when I was a kid. I mean, comics was a boys' club until kind of manga became popular and started bringing in a lot of female fans, and now, finally, I think it's cool that they are bringing some of these female characters and these characters from diversified backgrounds into into the comic book, into pop culture, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, those are my thoughts for what it's worth. I'd be interested to know what you guys think. So hit me up in the comment section. But this is going on for a while now, and I got to get to my comic book. Anyway, so I'm going to go up here to the paralleloscope. We're going to see what's going on with the process of 100 Days of Making Comics for issue 4 of Young and the Dead. What's going on? Alright, that intro went a little bit long, so we're going to make quick work of this page here. Still working on issue 7. Because we got a lot of stuff to do. We're still doing the whole road trip thing. Got some more sights to see, and I definitely want to show you guys that. But I figured I'd also show you some of the drawing, because different people are here for different things. But I do get some questions. I got some questions on what is the thing that's on my wrist, that weird-looking glove, like the half glove. Well, it's to help stop smudging, and basically what it's really used for is not smudging on your computer monitor, like if you're working on a Cintiq or something. But it also works pretty decently if you're just doing physical artwork, I've found. But you can find those online. But one of these days I got to put together like a list of all the different supplies so you guys can check that out. But for now, like I said, we got some sightseeing to do. Cheerio, here we are in jolly old London, England. Just kidding, I wish. But that is, in fact, the London Bridge that you're looking at, and it was relocated to where we are today, which is sunny Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Yes, the whole bridge was brought over here brick by brick and reassembled. So today we're going to check out the city. We're going to go look at some sights. right, we are back in the underground lair. We're gonna say goodbye to day 88. Tumble this thing up, toss it in the trash. I will see you guys tomorrow for day 89. That is all. Hey everyone, you've seen the process. Now you can check out the story. Issues 1 through 3 of Young and the Dead are available at my website at serkworks.com. Also follow me on social media at the links listed below. Subscribe and check out some of the other videos in this series. There's much more to come.